Oh, I look rough. Look at my hair. Unbelievable. You know what? I really don't care. Isn't that cool? The older you get, the less you go, hey, I care what people think. Now, Beth, that gets on her nerves. She's like, you need to make yourself a little more presentable, young man. Well, she doesn't call me young man. And Beth did want me to tell y'all that she, after working for about 2 hours yesterday, she got the shower drain undone. Just did a phenomenal job. I mean, I'm like, Beth, girl, you need to open you up a plumbing service. So I was upset, because she got all the glory yesterday. So I decided I was going to do some electrical work and replace an outlet. So I got on YouTube, watched a couple of videos, got me a tester, and the outlets and everything. And I went out there. I was so excited, and I hooked it up. And I said, "Okay, bring me something to plug up." So Beth she brought a hair dryer. I plugged it up. Jack squat crap, nothing. Thing ain't working worth for crap. So I spent like an hour and a half of my time. What'd you say? What'd you say, woman? Who's she talking to? She get on that phone, she'd be like, no, she didn't. No, she didn't. All the gossip going on. What do we got going on here? I gotta finish eating my peach pie. Give me just a second. So AD is 75. Where's my little pointer? There we go. And the market is flat. Look at this. Now AD is rising. It was negative. So it's been constantly rising. But I guess the market's a little rising too. But wow, just a dead day. It's probably tired, especially after the movement we got yesterday. Wow. It's just a big move up, right? So it's within its 15-minute range. We hadn't seen that much at all. When we come together, we're normally above or below. So we're below cash open or below VWAP. We're below the top range of the 15-minute opening range. We're below the hourly mid. We're below the overnight high. So we've got a lot of stuff above us. What do we got below us to catch us? We've got the overnight low. We've got the lower range of the 15-minute opening range. And then we've got a pivot point down here. And we got another pivot point down here. So what does this mean? Just a dead day. If I had to guess what the last 30 minutes of the day would be, I'd probably guess it down. But it's very evident that the market just wants to be, dull today, because it was not dull yesterday at all. Can you imagine how much money Tom Shoshtanoff lost yesterday, since he's a perma bear? Now, what is it, Bretland Capital or whatever? They said to get out of TQs. Well, we'll see if they're right. They were wrong yesterday. So we're still in. What we're doing. All right, so that's our opening little monologue. So then we'll go to our, as we always do, we'll go to our little volume profile. Uh-huh. See what's going on in the chat. Yeah, kid, you marvel how I'm still alive after knowing me for a year. Yeah, the thing is, I pick at Beth a lot. I've always picked at Beth a lot. We have a lot of fun. Now she says it gets old. She says I don't have any new jokes. All my jokes are old, but she likes them. They said to get back in today, called their get out signal a false alarm. How about that? So who knows? Nobody knows anything. Nobody knows anything. Only thing we know is this big green mustard is really good. Look at this. I mean, we called the bottom, we called the top here, and now look what's happening. Where's it dancing at? Didn't we just say that the Border control would move from here to up here, and it did. Look at this. So now what does this mean? Let's see what it means. It means we're now fairly priced for this new fair value range. So as I look at this, we're above the 20, the 50, and the 200. And this is kind of bullish. Looks like ES will probably hover around here to decide what it wants to do, but probably will head up to the 50% line, probably. So where are we at now? We're at that 4,700. That's an all important big number. And we've closed beyond it before. So it'll probably close beyond it again, just a matter of days. Let's see what our NQ's doing. Weekends, that's right. Brendan Capital weekends. I don't know what they're doing. Oh, that's funny. Neither do we. You know, we're just poor old slobs coming in here trying to make a dollar. Look at this, y'all. NQ is definitely fairly priced. Remember yesterday we said, where's it going to go? I mean, we said this yesterday. Hey, we're oversold, so we're probably going to go here. And look what we did. We did here, right? But we did that yesterday. So here's our point of control. When I look at this, you know, there may be a tendency to fill in these gaps. But if it doesn't go down, it goes up. So where's it going? It's going here. It's probably going here. I love how I do that. If it doesn't go down, it's going to go up. But really what we need to draw are those little cones, right? There's a little drawing tool. I know what it looks like. Draw some. Anytime I pay $25 for something, I go, I need to use that. So here's what we're probably going to do. Here's what price is over the next few days. See this? Beautiful, isn't it? That's our probability cone. That's what it kind of going to look like. So we're good with whatever may come. We'll just do whatever we need to do. All right, so let's turn that. All right, so now what do we do? We've got our volume profile. We've got everything going. Oh, so next thing we'll do. So everything kind of looked neutral to bullish there. Let's see what our skew driver is for the day. Skew. Have me a job in the city. 5-2 is 51. 51. Nice, sweet. 51. Well, I'll be there. Just what we expected to do. And this is continually bullish too. We expect a reversion to the mean 821. So let's see what this looks like. Where have we seen this before? I mean, this is what we call shooting fish in a bucket. Now, it could took longer to happen, right? But you know, if you're doing a 30-day trade or something, this is pretty much a given. When you're out here to this extreme, you expect the market to be bullish. And indeed, over the last 3 days, it has. As skew has declined, and we would expect this to go back down into this area. So still kind of a bullish signal here. All right, nice. So now we kind of figure out that we're looking pretty good, right? Everything looks good. We're not afraid of anything. We don't have any signals here. We don't have any signals on the other one either. Let's see. Tasty works. Yeah, no signals, so nothing for us to do. Kind of a boring day. Let's see what our little friend VIX is doing. Oh man, come on, man. VIX. Look at our chart. We're doing what we think we're doing, right? VIX is down $1.02 change today. So, you know, at some point we'll probably put on a calendar or two. When are we going to do it? We're going to do it when it comes down into this area. Because we know that's probably a smart trade. Because look, the market just kind of goes down. All these cycles, these little, you know, Slim Miller would be happy because he draws those little cycle thingies. And indeed, the VIX is just a perfect example of that. So we'll let it come down a little bit more and around this area. Just kind of see where I can draw a support area there. Now see how beautiful that support area is. All right. So when it gets down to around 16, we'll put on a couple calendar trades because we would expect this VIX to spike back up in this cycle, but not today. And today's not the day to do our VIX trade either because we're only at 132 days and we'll do that around 120 days to put on our VIX hedge. See how sweet it is? But we got a little plan now. We got a little plan. All right. We know that our hedge is going to look good, but you need to look at it every so often. So let's look at it and see. ES, we're going to not show any simulations. We're going to hide simulations and go single symbol. We're going to go to a vol step of 4. And it's sweet how you know what to do. There's no guessing game. So at 20% down, how is our skew? How's our black smart hedge going to work? Quite nicely, my friends. We're going to be at $98,000. We thought it'd been more than that after we put that one on yesterday, but we sure got them all in here. 98,000. I wonder if had something. May have had some to expire yesterday. Not sure. How would my portfolio beta weighted look? Well, let's see on that. So we'd be up about 20,000 on 20% down, but I mean, I don't think it gets any better than that. All right, so let's go to our trade tab. And let's just see if there's anything that doesn't have a ratchet, a little gear to it that I need to move. So we got a gear on everything, doesn't it? Okay, good. So let's check our Greekies. Let's kind of see what they're doing. I feel very subdued today. They're just calm. So my TQs have a delta of 261 and my overall deltas are 213. So that's fine. We do have negative theta and we've got barely any negative vega. We're down $173 on the day. Wang, right? So what do we do? Well, old Bobby, pal. Looks like the only thing to do would be for you to do a 1-1-1 trade. All right, so let's go 1-1-1. So we'll do those in the micros. Let's go out to this 54-day little unit. Do a long put vertical. We're going to make that 50 points wide. And we're going to move it down to a price of $10. $10 for the sprint. Roll down, baby, roll down. 1150, and it gets hung, which is something tasty works needs to fix. So we're at 1075, 1050. Now we're at 10, but we know we always have to bump it up a quarter. So let's go down one more. There she is, 975. We bump that up to 10. And review at 10 and blah.
Okay, baby.
There we go, we're filled. Now, so we paid $10 for that. So now we got to sell something for $20 to pay for that. So let's sell this one, except I'm a little bit greedy. Let's do the 2050 here. Sell that one. Beautiful. Now we're in on our 1-1-1. So let's move this over to the side. And let us do the same thing over here. Now, I'm not going to close anyone today, any of my short puts, because my theta is negative. So I want to get my theta closer to positive. So I'm not looking to close anything on my short puts today. Everybody understand why? I don't want my theta to be negative. I want to generate a little bit of positive theta. So let's see if we can do that. Go, little old Bobby Opal. We're going to go to the 4530. I trade these two accounts really just about the same. 4530. 4530. We're going to buy that one. We're going to sell the 4480. Same thing we did in the other account. Control key at that. That's at $10. And then let's fill down and sell us the $20. Hold your control key down. And if I want a little extra theta, I could always come up and sell, you know, something closer up here, right? 26. Ken does this some. It increased my theta some, but let's go to $21. There we go. So this is 11 credit, but let's move this to 1075. It may fill there. Let's see. Let's do 1075. Try to fill on the first time. Ta-da! There we go. So we're filled. So now let's see what our Greekies are. See what I did? So instead of my theta being -12 now, we've increased our theta. Now, you know, we could do another one, but why? Why do it? Not today. Our home wasn't built in a day. We don't have to build our portfolio in a day. So let's move this to groups, show groups. We'll do a 11139, I guess, for this one. Yes. There it is. Right click, move to group. 11139. Does make me feel better that Brandon Capital, you know, they felt they had to sell. You and I, we just held on. That's so cool. Not saying they're wrong, not saying we're right. We're just, you know, taking it day by day. All right, so now let's go back and look at the Greeks one time. That's really all we got to do. Not a lot to do. All right. We got our deltas. You know, you want your deltas positive because if your deltas are, you know, like 100, well, you might as well be in the Qs rather than the TQQ. So we want to keep our deltas nice and positive to kind of get us the simulation of being long to TQs. And we do have hedges in here, right? Negative deltas there, negative deltas here, negative deltas here, negative deltas here. That are hedges, but overall, we got to keep positive deltas. If you don't, there's no need at all in you having TQs in your portfolio. So we're either in or we're out, but it's kind of cool that we can keep them, you know, approximately the same while having all of our hedges in it at the same time. Okay, so that's kind of all I got. Unless y'all got any questions about anything on our plan at all. Hopefully it's sinking in to everybody, right? Everybody knows the plan. We wake up, we don't worry. We are in the TQs at least until December the 31st. On December 31st, we will look and we will see if our little friend SPY. So we'll go to trading view chart, our charts. Let's go to here's our SPY, right? SPY is in an uptrend. This is our daily chart. So here's here's, as long as we're within these boundaries on SPY, we don't worry about getting out of anything specifically. Now, if on December the 31st, if SPY is below the 200-day moving hour average, then it is based on the books that we read and the back tests that we've studied, it's beneficial for us to get into TMF and get out of TQQ for a while. So if we get out of TQQ on December 31st, it will be only because the SPY is below the 200-day moving average or the 10-month simple moving average, whichever one you want to use. Seems like it's easier just to use the 200-day simple moving average. So then we'd go all TMF. How long would we be into TMF? Look at this. We got a little buy signal on this thing. Now, I'm not using this. This is just something that, you know, I'm just playing with. We don't necessarily go by that. But it gives us a buy signal. Isn't it interesting that Brandon Capital said to go back in and buy right here? Isn't that weird? This signal said buy. So if we happen to get out of TQQs, how long are we going to be out? At least a month. Then on January the 31st, or the last trading day of January, we'll look and see if price of SPY is still under this. And what would we do? Well, if it's still under this, we just stay the course and be all in TMF. If it closes above this, what are we? We go back into TQQQ. Isn't that cool? So everybody knows the plan. We are rocking the plan. Plan is simple. I try to complicate things, but we shouldn't do that. Let's just play the plan. Let the plan go. We made over $3,000 in this account yesterday, so we're doing fine. We're down 206 today. Wow, wow, wow. So, anyone got any questions about the plan at all?
I got a comment
Yes,
on the
Ken.
Black Shoals.
Uh-huh.
Yesterday, well, I'm obsessed with not paying for my hedges. So
Yeah,
I
it's
was
not.
and I reheard your story about the original where you made it a diagonal on the basic Black Scholes tranche. So I have a whole bunch of those that are expiring at the end of this month. So I need to start looking to roll into the next 90 days. And so I was putting them on, and I decided to put one on in the ordinary fashion. And then I set it up to do it in the diagonal like you did. And I went from a debit of 4 points, 4.5 points, to a credit of 4.25 points by doing that. And I got the bright idea to put both of them on for essentially a net debit of 25 points, well, a quarter of a point, which is like 12.50 plus the commissions. And so I'm basically putting on these two tranches for essentially the commission. So I'm still a debit, but it's way less by putting on the full tranches. And I thought, and I went and looked at it, the analyzing, and the curves look way different, but when it counts, it works just as good as the other one does. And the nice part is when you got the diagonal, your short options are in the back month.
Yeah.
And the further out in time you go, the effect of Vega is less. So it's less sensitive to volatility. So you will get the benefit by the front month longs more than the detriment of the back month shorts. And I've been thinking about this trade, and I'm beginning to. I haven't experienced it in use yet, but through the thought experiments and working through the math, it looks like that really is the superior trade. And what was also cool was, although Ron says the Vega is fake, and I believe him because I've been reading Taleb's book on dynamic hedging. I believe him when he says the Vega is fake. And but when you run the numbers, the theta, which is we have a negative theta on these black swan hedges, it reduced from say in the hundreds to well, it went from like say around 300, 350. My negative theta went to 38, negative 38, and my delta went to 0, and which is not necessarily good, but at the beginning I think it's fine. The Vega dropped, and you know how the Thinkorswim platform doesn't do the beta weighted Vega that Taleb writes about in this book. So this looks like a really good trade that you put on. And I'm beginning to think I don't need to put on the Ron version, and I'm beginning to like your diagonal a whole lot better. Now, that and $3.50 will get you a Starbucks coffee, but it's something to think about.
Well, and it actually worked, during a crash. So I don't know that there's, more that we could say about it, but I think let's rehash what Ken just said. So Ken said, hey, I'm going to put on a diagonal. He notices, hey, I'm doing this for credit. So then he says, not only that, let me use that credit to expend for a regular black swan hedge where both the shorts and the longs are in the same. So he puts on two trades effectively for free. So he's got a regular black swan hedge and a diagonal black swan hedge that he has put on for a debit, but a very small debit of roughly the the commissions, y'all. So, I mean, think about it. And we know that crash is coming. That's the thing, right? We know the crash is coming. We just don't know when. You can't keep this going, right? I don't think it's sustainable. So he was able to put on 2 hedges basically for free. Rod says, and on that method, would you want to make the strikes the same or to do the 50 wide difference? Whatever you can find. It was cool yesterday that we said, hey, you can still do it for credit with the same strikes. But I mean, you can do it either way. So if you did it the same strikes, then your credit is not going to be as big as if you were able to, move them out 50 points. I mean, you get a bigger credit.
In response to that, I originally thought to do a straight diagonal, and it doesn't pay. You end up paying. You got a debit still. So I don't think there's any necessary advantage to doing a straight calendar time spread. The diagonal is the way to go. And remember, volatility is greater the closer to expiration. In other words, the front month will have greater volatility change and greater volatility than the back month. And if you study dynamic hedge in chapter 6 or 7, I can't remember, on beta weighted Vega, you will come to understand that the back months is not it's just like what Ron said. The Vega is fake, and I used to not believe him, but there it is. And so you're pretty much covered. It's not that being short on the back month is or I should say on the front month, it's not going to hurt you volatility wise. Bobby, I don't know why you conceived it, but it's a good idea. It was a good idea.
I'll give my friend Chris props on that. We were just looking at different ways to get in. And again, I think our obsession was like yours. The obsession was, I don't want to pay a lot of money for my hedges. So is there a way that we could do this? And then it just made sense. Hey, wait a minute. The longs are going to be cheaper if we move those in closer to expiration and we sell our shorts farther from expiration. So it just kind of, and keep in mind, I was doing this in January 2020 and I wasn't fully convinced. So you imagine my surprise, when the market drops 35%, I'm, up 208%. And I'm like, wow. That's all I had on. All I had on was diagonal black swan hedges. Didn't have anything, completed in the same expiration. So I like what Ken said today. I think it's very, very powerful. So what you've got here, whereas, and not to down Tasty Trade or anything, but they have the, fast trades, people calling in, giving you a trade or what's your assumption, and they're just slinging trades. Right? They're just slinging trades. That works, I guess, for some people. But what we do is we've got an overall strategy. Overall strategy is basically, you've seen how well I did not do with individual stocks. I'm just not an individual stock trader. I should always stop that. I'm more indexes, ETFs, things of that nature. So now we've got we've abandoned the individual stock, and some of y'all are still doing them. That's fine. But I think the longer that you play the game, the more you'll say, I don't need those. Just don't need those. Because then you've got, Elon Musk risk. You've got the risk of him tweeting something or doing something, or what if he gets killed in a Tesla, in Texas? Well, by a Mexican cartel who crossed over the border. I mean, things happen. You imagine what would happen to your Tesla shares. So we got a little more diversification by being in ETFs, but it's just an overall comprehensive strategy. And it's something that, we put together from the ideas from some of the brightest minds, on planet Earth as far as trading. We've read, we've studied, and we've take these little morsels and gold nuggets from all these things. I like what Rod posted in the room here. Look at this, y'all. That's not it, was it? So Rod posted this. Rod, where'd you post your reading stuff at? Resources, was it maybe? You know, we've got some resources of things to do back here. Hey, Rod, I saw you posted. Let's see. Anyway, he posted his reading list that he's coming up with. And it includes this book, and it includes this book, and it includes a couple others. And I want to know, where is that? Where did you post that? Here it is. Look at this, y'all. So, boom. This is a definite read, right? You've got to read this. You've got to understand why we're doing what we're doing with our spreadsheet. Then you got to read the 3% Signal, which is just a fantastic book. I'm not finished with it yet, but this is a simplified Lacello. It's all it is. Simplified Lacello does basically the same thing. But you need to read this. And then I definitely recommend the cash trigger. You know, when do you go to cash? Well, that's what we're talking about now. When we go to cash, when the S&P is under the 200-day moving average at the end of the month. So that's basically that book in a nutshell. Won't take you long to read this. Won't take you long to read this. Doesn't take too long to read this. Now, here's the one that I don't know. Fair Market Trading Strategies by Matthew, whatever his name is, Crater. So not sure about that one, but I'm sure it's a good book as well. So if Rod gets any nuggets out of that one, definitely share it with us. So you got to read this. You got to read this. Got to read this. Rod's going to tell us if this is a good read. So, you know, we don't just gunsling it around here. We don't just gunsling it. We go based on, you know, books, things that they've shown us through back tests that we buy into. And then we go into Black Swan hedges that you've seen me have success with and come up by Ron Bertino. Then you see us using things that like the Big Green Monster, who is a Blake Young idea. And then you see us do the Screwdriver from Scott Rubel. So we just take all their stuff and we just kind of use it, and it kind of works all together. You imagine if we had all these meetings of the mind come together, what they could produce. And so that's what we do here. Is you and I come together and we take the best of their ideas, we put it together into a fully comprehensive strategy. All right. So I hope you have a good rest of your day. Not much to do today. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, right? No, what is today? I get my days mixed up. No, I'm retired. Yes, tomorrow's Thursday. So we'll be regular at 12 o'clock. All right, I will see y'all